Good afternoon. We're back with some more Lord of the Rings LCG, and today is Foundations of Stone on Nightmare difficulty. It's one of my favorite quests, and the adventure pack brought us the spirit version of Glorfindel, Hero Glorfindel, one of the most powerful heroes in the game even after all the cards have been released. As part of the setup, we owe one card from the encounter deck, which is a Sigil Mineshaft, so we're starting with 5 threat against. And we'll go get Faramir for the Messenger of the King. This is not a good starting hand as it does not include Steward of Gondor. And looks like with the resource starved, if I can't find Steward of Gondor, even if I do, a lot of these allies are going to go to waste. And no steward. So, just gonna get out an Ethir Swordsman here, and 2 warriors of Lossarnach and 2 Anfalas Herdsman are going in the discard pile. Hopefully we'll see them later. It's gonna be questing for 6 here. And that means I lose by 3. Now I reconsider and consider that if I just raise threat by 2 more, I can clear the Sigil Mineshaft, because you can raise threat by 1 to place a progress there. So I might as well do that, right? Just clear it with 2 more threat. And now I have 6 to 4, which is making 2 progress. I can go ahead and move there by exhausting the Cave Torch, which requires me to discard a card from the encounter deck, and if it's an enemy it goes to staging, but it is not. So, we're on to the next round. Find another Ethir Swordsman. And I'll need the assistance of the Errand-rider in order to play it. Errand-riders are very good when you don't have Steward of Gondor out, which hopefully isn't very often, but it does happen. So here, it's just a Watchful Eyes. So I have 9 progress, and that's going to clear the quest. Oh, sorry, 11 progress, which is enough to clear the quest. I should not have been able to play a resource on Hirluin there with Wealth of Gondor. I forget that he doesn't have Steward of Gondor here. But it doesn't matter because that resource is going to be discarded in a moment anyway. So I'm questing for 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 2 is 12 progress. So all encounter deck cards are getting discarded along with my light. That means Watchful Eyes goes away too, as it is an encounter deck card. And I form the new encounter deck. Also, as per the Nightmare difficulty, the Nightmare part of this quest, I have to discard all allies until I have only 6 cost and allies remaining, but fortunately that's all I have anyway, so I don't end up discarding any. 2 Ethir Swordsman, an Errand-rider, and a Knight of the Swan add up to 6. That's an additional challenge for this quest in Nightmare mode, is that you can't just hang out in phase 1 and build your board to a massive state. So here I draw the stage where I need to discard all my resources, but don't need to reveal any encounter cards. So that's not so bad. And I get my last Ethir Swordsman, so that's really going to speed things along. I can heed the dream. I have good harvest. I'm looking for Steward of Gondor here, but I don't find it. Gonna grab very good tail though. I could good harvest, or I could use Errand-rider to play the Ethir Swordsman, but at least I can save the Errand-rider for a chump blocker here if I need it. So I find Forlong and another Errand-rider. And now I'm just going to quest with everybody except for the Errand-riders. If an enemy comes, they'll use the Errand-riders as blockers, and I'll just try to clear this phase 4 in one turn. With the Ethir Swordsman, each of the Outlands guys is questing for either 5 or 4. So I have 5, 10, 15, 19, 23 that I can quest for. And the encounter card just is a doomed 1. There's no nameless out, so it doesn't do anything else. Another doomed 1, and then I must discard my hand or raise threat by number of cards in my hand, and obviously, as I'll be discarding my hand anyway, that's what I'm going to do. And so I make 23 progress, clear stage 1 in one go, and we're on to stage 5. Reveal 1 encounter card from the deck per player, which is Durin's Helm. It does surge. It's not guarded, but it surges. Probably won't be claiming that, as I don't intend to be doing much fighting, actually. And the second card's a Watchful Eyes. So it has to go on an exhausted hero, and at the end of the combat phase, that hero is still going to be exhausted, so it does mean I will have to reveal another card from the encounter deck then, at the end of the combat phase. And it will be an Unspeakable Thing, with 5 threat against. That's formidable. Nameless aren't that big a deal with this deck that I'm playing because all my cards are relatively low cost, so they don't tend to buff the enemies much. Now I'm just going to check and see what's in my discard pile for the Men of the West. They want to grab a Warrior of Lossarnach with that. So I'll use an Errand-rider, use both Errand-riders, put the resources on Hirluin, use Gathering Strength for 1 more resource. And then I can Men of the West and grab a Warrior of Lossarnach. And play the Knight of the Swan as well. So I can quest for a lot, but I can, in theory, but I can only commit as many allies to the quest as I commit heroes. So I'm not going to be exhausting Faramir, I'm going to be committing him here. So I'm committing, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can commit 3 allies. Each of those is worth 4. So that's 20 in total. 12 from the Ethir Swordsman and 8 from my heroes. For a total of 20. 8 threat against is 12 progress, and that will finish the quest. One of the fastest playthroughs of Foundations of Stone I've ever done. When you get out 3 Ethir Swordsmen, you can make quick work of a lot of quests with this deck. So even though I didn't get Steward of Gondor, the 3 Ethir Swordsmen, the relatively mild stage 4, where all I had to do was discard resources, I didn't have to reveal encounter cards, which could have contributed threat against me. Even if it had, there's a few other stages that probably wouldn't have been that much of a problem. But in any case, this was a very quick playthrough and a quick victory. And thank you for watching.